And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gem in the Crypto, episode 1016. Today is Monday, November 14th, 2022, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At 10ish in today's top stories, of course, we will be talking about Bitcoin Zay, our very own, getting fired from CoinDesk. U.S. lawmaker blames billionaire crypto bros for delayed legislation. Crypto.com CEO addresses whereabouts of $1 billion in stablecoins sent to FTX. Crypto.com accidentally sends 320,000 Ethereum to Gate.io, but recover funds a day after. Crypto exchange Kraken freezes accounts related to FTX and Alameda. Meta, I might be pronouncing that wrong, I always do. NCZ and Saylor urged for crypto self-custody amid increasing uncertainty. But first and foremost, what is going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at our prices for today. Bitcoin is sitting at $16,633, down 0.0% today. Ethereum at $1,252 is up 1.1% today. Binance Coin at 281 is up 1.1% today. XRP sitting at 34 cents is down 1.7% today. Dogecoin sitting at 8 cents is down almost 1% over the last 24 hours. Cardano sitting at 33 cents is down 2% on the day. And last but not least, rounding out the top 10 is Polygon, also known as Matic, at 92 cents, up 2.2% today. And some of the trending tokens, of course, which we said will probably be trending for a few days. FTX token down another 19% as it works its way down to zero. Solana is up 1.4% today, also affected by the FTX debacle. And Dogecoin down 1% as well. Some of the recently added DGen coins that you can dumpster dive include Crowland, Assanverse, and FileShare Platform. No clue what they are, but that's all for the DGens if they want to dumpster dive into that. So
There it is. Sounds like some amazing choices to lose some capital in.
oh yeah.
All right, want to give some quick shout outs. I see the stream is lit already. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome if it's your first time. What's going on, Chemo and Crypto, Bitcoin Madam, Wendy Nichols, Satoshi Slim, Daryl White, Junior Maley, Patrick Walter, Captain G, Memories with Mike, Wisdom Bars, CB, shout out to Crypto Blood. CBTV's in that house. What up, though? Alec G, Tony Nolly, Jake Fever, Reno Gamble, Hassan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Make sure you're smashing that like and share on the way in. What's going on, Reno Gamble? And of course, everyone behind the scenes, of course, making something happen. That's right. Top story of the day. Let's jump into it. I saw the tweets over the weekend. People were messaging me like somebody died. I didn't know what was going on. I'm running around and people are like, I'm sorry, I heard what happened, and hey, F these guys and this and that. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, it turns out, I guess, from my understanding, you put this tweet out on Friday, which says, look up the religious affiliation of everyone involved in the FTX collapse. Kanye was right, in which I guess CoinDesk was what's it called? Tag, where you work at as a host for weekly crypto community crypto show, and they basically responded in response to a tweet from Isaiah Jackson that made an anti-Semitic hurtful statement. CoinDesk is immediately terminated his contract for his weekly community crypto show on CoinDesk TV. As profoundly inflammatory comments are unacceptable and violate our values of mutual respect, diversity, and inclusion. CoinDesk does not tolerate anti-Semitism and any form of hate or speech. So, with all of that being said, oh, that was yours. I didn't share the other ones. With all of that being said, I guess let's start off this show. And Bitcoin is my question to you. Hold on, let me drum roll it in as I
Mm-hmm.
bring up CoinDesk. Here we go. Here's CoinDesk tweets. What in the world? What was going on? What happened on Friday? What happened? You said you in your Kanye bed, Kyrie. What happened, Zay? What were you thinking? What are your thoughts? Are you anti-Semitic? Answer the question as far as for so people can know. How do you feel you hurt people? You had a Twitter Spaces. Tell us about that. I mean, go into details. Just tell us the story. The floor is yours.
Oh yeah. So let me first start off by saying I am not anti-Semitic in any way. I denounce anti-Semitism, and I stand with all of my good Jewish people out there. So let's start there. Second thing is, I don't know how I got fired on my day off, like Craig, uh, Friday, and it was one of those things where the tweet went out. And let me take it back a second. Before that, I put an entire thread describing Gary Gensler Caroline Ellison, SBF, and Glenn Ellison, and went through all of the connections that were happening with the FTX exchange and some of the things with regulation and ushering in CBDCs. Following that is where I put the tweet about look up the religious affiliation, and then Kanye was right. And honestly, that tweet, I guess it got lost in translation. Sarcasm does not, it doesn't translate well in text, because I was actually laughing when I wrote it, because that was what some people were saying whenever they have a problem with a certain community. And the feeling I got was that free speech is not free, of course, even if somebody considers it hate speech. CoinDesk firing me. I have no ill will towards them. Shout out to everybody that I work with over there, great people. But I couldn't really get an explanation for how it was harmful to them. If they felt a certain way, I understand. But being fired for it, I thought was, again, it was something that happened with Kanye. He got canceled, Kyrie, other people. Dave Chappelle today, if you saw his SNL stand up, he got called out by the Anti-Defamation League as well. It seems as though if you mention anything towards that group, then you will have problems. Not complaining, not asking for sympathy, take it on the chin like a man. And then following that, I got called everything but a child of God by some people, but I also had a lot of support. Most of it was a lot of support from people who just wanted free speech to be able to be free. And people that know me, they know I'm a joking person. I don't hate anybody at all. And it's pretty hilarious to see how hard some people are going, as if they know me, and it's as if we go back years and they're like, "Oh, you've always been doing this." Not the case at all. Joking on different groups of people, pointing out things, observations, pattern recognition. None of these things are hateful at all. And in my opinion, going forward, hate speech, as some people may call it, is still free speech. I don't want to see anybody get fired. So even if you consider it that, almost anything you say can be considered hate speech at this point. I'm sure some people have called something hate speech on this show before too. However, I do want to say that for this show and for the continuation of it or whatnot, we got to give people the real. And honestly, when I did that Twitter Spaces, it was 5 hours of me holding myself accountable, sitting there listening to people from all walks of life give their views on it. Some of it I pushed back on, some of it I didn't. Some of it they were just telling me their opinion, which is great because I'm old school. I was taught by older men that if men have a problem, you meet in person, you look them in the eyes, and you tell them what's wrong. You can either disagree at the end or you can agree at the end. You shake hands, you go the other way. There were a lot of, and for some reason in this generation, with a lot of Twitter fingers and a lot of social media people, there were a lot of people who were very, very emotional. Please save that for the women and children. If you are a man and you have a disagreement, I have invited every single person that disagreed to meet me in person or to talk it out via Zoom or whatever, because that's what men do. You hold yourself accountable. You may make a mistake. You take it on the chin. You move forward. So for anybody that has those gripes, again, I'm still inviting people. If you want to meet in person or if you want to talk, we can do that. But the tweet, I will say, I've never felt more free in my life. I think that was a blessing in disguise. And it is funny that it happened on the day that it happened, 11/11/22. I got my spiritual advisor, talked to her for hours, and she was explaining a lot of stuff to me, and some other people reached out as well. It was just one of those things where it feels like divine timing. And CoinDesk, they can move on, they can go do what they want. I feel like I was the best show that they had, but they may feel different. And cut ties, move forward, and no hard feelings here. Moving forward with TGOC, and of course, we keep bringing you the longest running and the best show in crypto history. We've been here. And of course, anybody that doesn't know us that's new, welcome. We're over 1,000 shows at this point. We've been telling the truth for years, so that's what it is.
And with that being said, I want to give a shout out to the super chat. Thank you, Better Understanding, for the tip. Says Zay, that's some BS lunch on me today. Made all burn and be rebuilt. Shout out to Jake Fever. Said you were caught on tape stealing boxes. So that's what actually happened. You all don't know the real story. On Zay's day off, listen, he was doing a big move. The guy thought a box thing wouldn't be a big deal, but listen, company materials are company materials. Not to make light of the situation, but
Yeah.
Just to ease the room a bit, folks.
It was funny. I got fired on a Friday on my day off, and I was smoking weed when they fired me, like Smokey. So it was just a funny. Every time somebody brings it up, it's funny. It's hilarious.
And shout out to CBTV, Crypto Blood, Super Chat said F CoinDesk, but they still cover and support Board 8. Get the F out of here. All right, that's on that one. So wait, really quick before we push on from this, you had a Twitter Spaces you said it was about 5 hours, and I saw Alec post that. We'll also put that in the podcast. We'll try to get that in there as well. Excuse me.
Mhm.
But you had a 5-hour Twitter Spaces. How did that go? A lot of people showed up to that. Tell us more about it. I missed that one, so let us know what happened with it.
Oh yeah. All right. So 5 hours, people. I sat there all night because, like I said, holding yourself accountable as a man, that's what you do. So I was not hiding from anybody and didn't want to, I'm not backing down from any of the rhetoric that was stated. So sat there, started off the conversation, giving my piece of everything that happened. I brought up, I believe, at least 60 or 70 people got to speak during the spaces. Everybody got to say what they wanted to say. Some people disagreed with the statement. I let them get it out as well because of some of the past transgressions of the Jewish people. Some people came up, they felt a different way. They felt it wasn't nothing wrong. They felt that it was, even if they disagreed with it, that you shouldn't be fired for if we actually have free speech. And then there were other people who were sort of in the middle. They didn't understand why Black people were saying anything about Jewish people at all. I mean, it was a basket of ideas, which is what I like, a marketplace of ideas where people can speak freely, say what they want, say how they actually feel, and then we can move on from there. I explained myself to some people. I gave my points. We had people again, all from all over the industry were watching. It's probably a bunch of people that were in that spaces that are watching right now that have followed recently over the weekend. And it was a great space. Some people hated it. Some people thought it was anti-Semitic space. Some people thought it was a great space. It was all over the place. But the main thing is that everybody got to speak and get it out. And I felt I was fair as a moderator. And shout out to Leroy. Shout out to my man L. As it started getting later and later, and I was talking so much, L helped me with the moderation in there and bringing people up, as they were supposed to. And the entire space itself, you will hear it on the podcast, but the entire space itself, a lot of it was people coming up saying, we appreciate everything you've done in this industry. We appreciate what the Gentleman of Crypto. We have a lot of our Gentleman of Crypto fans came up. Shout out Jake Fever. He came in there. A few other people from the channel as well. So that was the biggest thing. Now, the one thing that came after that I do not like was the fact that I got an email saying that based on German law, somebody reported the tweet and they tried to get my account taken down. Luckily, Twitter disagreed and they kept my Twitter account after that. Stop snitching, people. If you don't like it, ignore the tweet. Stop trying to take people's livelihood or take away their social media because you don't like something. And somebody mentioned something about Jimmy. Jimmy, he's a Black guy. He said I was bugging. He came up there. He said his piece. He thought I was asking for sympathy. I don't know why. Jimmy, for all of the people that spoke, to me, Jimmy was the most disingenuous because he's been talking shit I heard on Clubhouse before. And I don't know this dude. I don't know where he comes from. He pointed out something in the book that I pointed out years ago, that there was a typo of the 100 million sats for Bitcoin. Of course, we know that. But there was a typo in there. I actually gave somebody money for pointing out that mistake. I never corrected it because, again, we're not perfect. I'm an open book. It was wrong. It was incorrect. So, So Jimmy, I mean, honestly, what I forget his name, Jimmy Toussaint or whatever. He can go fuck himself, honestly, because he was the only person that wasn't genuinely trying to get somewhere. I think he just doesn't like me, and that's fine. Like I said, we can talk in person as well, and he can tell me how he feels as well. Everybody that knows who I'm talking about, if he's on Clubhouse, I mean, everybody has said it. He's been talking shit about me for years. But other than that, the spaces went great. Everybody else was cool. Got to shout out a few people that were in there. And appreciate everybody for the support. Like I said, TGOC, we moving forward. Like, we got the best channel in the space, and we've been giving nothing but truth for almost 6 years now.
And who were some of the, and shout out to Reggie Milton. Reggie Milton was in the chat as well. And you also mentioned some exchange owners or exchange founders were there as well. So which exchanges showed up and what did they have to say about the situation, I guess? Or I guess some of the more notable people in general in the crypto.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to 5252 Crypto for
Mhm.
the tip. Says Sheba Dog squeezing the big red heart. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, none of them really spoke, but Jesse Powell was in there from Kraken. I believe I saw CZ was in there. A few people from Coinbase. There was a few names that I recognized from different exchanges. I believe some people from Crypto.com. I think Bybit. Also, Jason Brett from Forbes magazine was in there that did my Forbes story. He came up and gave glowing review of myself and how much we worked together when I was in Forbes. He didn't really have an opinion on it. I'm trying to think. It was Granger Bessie. Shout out Granger Bessie, one of the biggest channels as well, operating out of South Africa. So it was a lot of people that came up in support. It wasn't any hate in there. It wasn't anybody. There were a few people that were acting real feminine in there. Was about to cry because they didn't agree with stuff, and I had to shut that down because, like I said, I'm old school. If you're a grown man, there's no reason for you to get so emotional over words. I didn't understand that, but like two people. I think the name was like Lucky, and the other one was Alex something. But I invited both of them. We can meet in person. We can talk it out. You can explain your side. I explain my side. It's not a big deal, I think. And I think, unfortunately, King knows me. I laugh at pretty much everything. There's almost nothing you can. There's nothing you can say that offends me. And as somebody who formerly did stand up, I've hardened my feelings so much now that sometimes when I say things, I don't understand people get offended by certain things. Even to this day, I'm probably never going to understand it, especially as a grown man. Save that for women and children. But yeah, it was pretty positive overall, and yeah, I was just ready to move forward. I feel free as a
Well,
bird.
I'm
It's the most
sure
free
you
I've ever
just,
felt.
as much as you're getting this one off, you just offended a whole nother couple groups. So there you go. But anyway.
Again, everybody says something. We talk for a living. We've done over 1,000 shows. I've done hundreds of interviews. I did almost 100 shows of community crypto. At some point, you're gonna say something where you put your foot in your mouth. And if you look at the whole spectrum of everything we talked about, at
Listen,
no point have we hated anybody. So I don't
this
feel bad at all. So it is what it is.
just blaming it on North Carolina education, man.
Yeah, man. It was good old public education, man. I ain't know what I was talking about.
North Carolina put the hate in me. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout
All
out
right.
all my North Carolina people.
All right. With all that being said, if you want to talk more about it, I'm sure Zay will welcome the conversation on Twitter as he previously had. Again, we'll be putting that on the podcast as well. Now,
Mhm.
let's go ahead and move on with some crypto news. Make sure we get that good crypto news information. We need to revisit this. We can, of course, on Fuck Bitcoin Friday, where you can call in live and give more of your thoughts and opinions. It's crazy how everything. Do we need to do Fuck Bitcoin Fridays later? Because everything always happens 30 minutes after the show. It's crazy. But U.S. lawmaker now blames billionaire crypto bros for delayed legislation. That's right. The collapse of FTX has raised alarm bells across Washington, D.C. As Brad Sherman, Merman Thurman, you know
Mhm.
who Brad Sherman is. He's the guy who sounds like this.
Oodly, 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 loony, oodly, noodly doodly, diddly doddly, loony, oodly, daddler atner. Maple eighth.
You know, I guess it's fair to say we make fun of a lot of people, including everybody equally here. So
Mhm.
we get after everybody. Let's see, but he's pointing the finger at billionaire crypto bros for slowing down much needed crypto regulation. In a November 13th statement addressing the collapse of crypto exchange FTX, Sherman and the exchange's implosion has demonstrated the need for leaders to take immediate and aggressive action. We knew this was coming, folks, and you better believe it's coming times 10. I would say January 21st, 22nd, after Martin Luther King Day weekend.
Mhm.
This is what they're leading with. FTX, oh, you done it. Celsius, you done it. Who else was Terra? You done it. The sudden collapse this week of one of the
Sheesh.
largest cryptocurrency firms in the world has been a dramatic demonstration of both the inherent risks of digital assets and the critical weaknesses in the industry that has grown up around them. And again, that's being quoted by Sherman. Also, he's added, for years, I've advocated for Congress and federal regulators to take an aggressive approach in confronting the many threats to our society posed by cryptocurrencies, he added. I mean, honestly, again, it's one of those things, people, where we didn't need a regulatory approach. We needed
No.
self-regulation in the right way. There
Mhm.
have been multiple, I mean, just looking at YouTube and Twitter, there have been multiple profiles, people, channels, and everything disagreeing with
Mhm.
some of the crypto mainstream moves. When everyone was screaming Doge and Shiba, there were still a lot of people saying, "Hey, we get it. You can make fiat. We get it. You can make money." But in a crypto sense, what you're doing is jacking up the market, like because what you're putting your value to has no end. Essentially, it has no end as far as what it's actually trying to accomplish or do. It's like if you can print an unlimited amount, it's kind of defeating the purpose, people. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It was just like it was so many projects like that. So many people going toward those projects or projects that just literally make the money. Money. If it makes money, people are showing up. If it was cool, it was popular, Lamborghini, some double D's in the bikini. We've been at a conference this day. It is what it is. People were showing up, but in reality, it's just like, yo, if the headline, listen, if a crypto channel, if the majority of their headlines is the percent swings of a token, that ain't it. Like
Yeah.
that is not it. That is not how this market is built and moves or whatever. So I don't know. I think that becoming the mainstream part of our market and attracting more people has kind of created the illusion of FTX being this big crypto market or big crypto exchange. And but if it, we always talk about it all the time, like watch trading or watch volume on these exchanges where the volume is actually fake. It was like if you're actually looking into these things, they're not as big as they make themselves seem. We don't know how they get the money. That's why we keep saying about some of these people who keep popping up. We're not sure where they're getting their money from, but they're actually not that big because if you actually talk to people, talk to Crypto Blood, be like, hey, are you on FTX? Like, people, we got, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk to some of the people on Twitter, some of the people you're actually interacting with in our warrior community, and just literally like, are you on FTX? See how many say yes. It's like, it's no one's actually using it, people. So, with the exception of like a lot of noobs and stuff here and there. But, so I don't know. What are your thoughts, though?
Oh, yeah. My thoughts are that Brad Sherman is not speaking for himself. He's speaking for the people that support him. And if you remember, his biggest supporters include Morgan Stanley, Deloitte, Blackstone, NASDAQ, Dr. Jane Lindbergh, Lieberman Research, Regions Financial, a bunch of banks and credit unions and whoever else. So he's not speaking for himself. He's speaking against his competition. And of course, they always bring up the crypto bros. They leave out women. They leave out and they basically make it seem like it's a bunch of young crypto bro white dudes that are taking over the industry and they're messing it. And it's just like, bro, that has nothing to do with nothing. Come on, Merman Sherman. And Sherman, again, he has no spine at all. So he's going to, of course, say whatever he's paid to say. So I don't really even listen to him. I don't listen to most politicians because you're a puppet. They're just telling you what to say and then you say it. And of course, now they created the problem. They're going to come with the quote unquote solution, which is the CBDCs and regulation. It's this age old trick. It's the oldest trick in the book. Create the problem, then come with the solution, and then make it seem like we're going to protect you from those crazy crypto people where everything crashed. And it's like, dog, forget crypto. It's like Bitcoin is still mining right now. TikTok, next block. Nothing has happened. And for everybody who was on exchanges, I hate that they lost their money. But you have to understand, if you actually want free market capitalism or Austrian economics, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you can lose money. And when it happens, you can't go running to mommy and daddy to get a bailout like the banks, because that's how you know we're not in a capitalist society when they got that bailout in '08. So whenever they bring this up, you're right, King. Self-regulation should be the goal, and your own self-custody. You should take it. That's another thing, too. Nobody wants to take accountability for their own mistakes. How many times do I have to say no keys, no cheese? How many times on this show do we have to say take it off exchanges, move it off exchanges, don't trust them, they're working against you, they're actively trading against you? We can't say it but so much. So the U.S. lawmakers, that's what it is. They're going to come in and do exactly what their plan is.
Shout out Zulu said, why are none of these networks saying anything about the participants of this financial orgy? How can the parents of the scammers be the regulators? That's kind of crazy too. I mean, now that we know that there's definitely collusion, I think that's some of the words that were being used back in the day is involved. Let's see. Jake Fever says, Zay, I found you through Anthony Pompliano. Bro getting cooked by public opinion more than you. I think BlockFi was horrible for him. What happened there?
Yeah, I think Pomp, he was sponsored by BlockFi, and then he also promoted FTX as well. So a lot of people are going at Pomp right now. Pomp is a good friend. Shout out to Pomp. People who have shows and are content creators, they get people to support them and to sponsor them. And sometimes they get the biggest money they can get, and they don't vet the people they get it from. Hey, honest mistake. I don't think he was doing anything malicious, but if you got 1 million followers and a lot of people may lose money, hey, you may get some pushback. But hold strong, Pomp. I mean, we all get criticized. I don't give a shit, but hopefully Pomp isn't, feeling bad. Because some people take it worse than others. I'm good.
That's what's up. And you're a good friend, and I think that was a great way of saying it. So I'll say it how I think I'm gonna say it. And that's, I mean, look, there's no offense to him or anything. And not as much anymore, but he was brand new too. Pomp was brand new too. He was a new person in crypto. Same thing, whole flood of folks. I don't know how. It seems like money came from other places, and then you're here, which once again to me does not put you at this high level because the work hasn't been put in. So okay, you got the people all of a sudden overnight. You get the sponsorships overnight. Did you do your due diligence? I mean, you said it many times to be real. How many times we have ICO projects and stuff with millions of dollars? Like, hey, all you have to do is this XYZ back in 2017. So no, I'm gonna hold him just as accountable as someone would hold a BitBoy or some of these other people. Pomp was super new. He came on fire from the podcast standpoint, but again, it wasn't to me. It wasn't built from a Bitcoin or crypto thing. It was like, okay, so what has he done? Oh, see, okay, so he just invested in it to me late.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my
And,
point.
and what did we say before?
Goes with it.
What we said before, King, we was like, there's a lot of new people who are going to show up and they're going to study really hard for 6 months, and then they're going to act like they're the top leaders of the industry. And it's like, no, popularity does not equal knowledge. And you can look at our entire track record. I don't even know how many things we've predicted, but it's got to be more than anybody else in this entire industry, easily. I mean, by magnitudes. And that's because we've been here to see everything that's happened. This exact thing that's happening right now, this was Mt. Gox, people. In 2013, everybody lost their mind. It was like, oh my God, what is happening? And it was worse because Bitcoin was new. There was no commercials. There was no famous people promoting it. There was no infrastructure in place for wallets and exchanges. That was like one of 4 exchanges. It was like BTCE, Coinbase, and Mt. Gox. Like, that was it. So when Mt. Gox went down, everybody was running for the hills, scared. Everybody thought it was over. And I've been through that. And then me and King have been through multiple bear markets. Listen, people, goddamn, how much other way can we say it? Stop listening to all these new people who just showed up, got money, and then they're just a little bit smarter than you. That's the elephant in the room, is that they don't know that much. They just know a little bit more than you do, and people latch on to them. So, that criticism is valid, and you're gonna have to take that shit and then roll with it.
Because and a couple of things. First, CBTV says you see that Michael Saylor was telling people he feels like a vet now. And no, and again, that's not I don't know Pomp personally, so definitely is nothing personal, just straight professional from a crypto point of view too. Not even professional from, again, I'm sure he was great on Wall Street, whatever else he was doing. I don't even know. I'm talking professional from a Bitcoin standpoint. And the reason why I say that, also for people who get to judging this stuff, whether I'm talking about him or whoever else I speak of, what I always say, give it time. The proof is in the pudding. Yeah. That's what it's like. If you were being, this was your main sponsor, and then this happened, that is the proof in the pudding. Now, I will say, I don't know how he introduces them. He could be, and again, I don't know. I haven't seen it. It could be introduced as, this is brought to you by, hey, boom, boom, boom. This is a great place to check this out. Like, make sure you do your own due diligence. I ain't got shit to do with it. And that's something to me totally different. So I don't even blame him for that. But regardless, I mean, one way you can tell things in this space is just being like, okay, well, let me see a wallet. Okay, well, let's just look up this person. This is what it is. This came of it. So let's see. Friendly Neighborhood Crypto Dad, thanks for the super chat. Said 10 toes down. We got you in the Carolinas, man. This is Enzo. Oh, what's going on, Enzo? What up, Enzo?
Hey, man, I just want to say, we know we're right. It's just not right now. And it's hard to convince people of the future.
Yeah.
They just don't believe you until it happens. Most people.
And really quick, when we talk about the work being put in, because I'm sure, like, I'm not just talking about, like, not just time alone, even though time in this market will teach you a lot of things. They do, crazily enough, repeat themselves. But, I mean, look at the flashback video. First, literally think about all the different ICOs people we've talked about. And that's all we've talked about on the surface. I'll just leave that there, okay? Some of you actually know we become stakeholders of. Not to mention, Zay literally had a Bitcoin ATM in an apartment before we shipped that thing out. So how much hands-on experience did he get with the Bitcoin ATM? Then learning about the rules and regulation about Bitcoin ATMs, ICO rules and regulations, and eventually STOs, exchanges, going through arbitration with the exchange, through their negligence, hacks, all types of people. It takes time. Yeah, it takes time. And all of this stuff I just mentioned, it doesn't happen on the traditional market. These are different markets. And it's not happening like this on Wall. What happens if someone gets hacked on Wall Street? Like, literally the FBI and CIA is on top of it overnight type of deal, right? Like, they're getting backup. That's not like that in crypto. So there are so many different things. And we're starting to see it now. These niches pop up, DeFi, NFTs. Like, what's the NFT in the traditional market? What's the DeFi in the traditional market, right? A trading bot that necessarily not really somebody owns it. So, it's just a learning curve. It's definitely a learning curve. All right, Crypto.com CEO addresses whereabouts of $1 billion sent to stablecoins. We've been talking about this for a while. I saw somebody put it on the tweet. Shout out to whoever retweeted it. We talked about this for a long time. Crypto.com, for those who don't know, Crypto.com used to be Monaco. They had ICO as Monaco. They made a lot of money. They kind of disappeared, paid off some regulators, and came back as Crypto.com and bought the Lakers arena, the house that Kobe built, which I have already said, and I'm going to double down on even more, in fact, triple down on, is not going to last. It will not be crypto.com arena. It's going to be an embarrassment for LA. I
Over.
think after it happens, the real question is, will they license it out to someone again or rent it out, lease it out? Or will they just literally, I think they should just name it the house that Kobe built. I think they literally can have just as much.
Kobe Stadium. You know, I'm with that.
You know
Or
what I mean?
or take
Fans
it
will
back.
love it.
Take it back to the '80s, the Western Forum. Let's take it back to
Yeah.
the days where they had a bunch of women around and doing coke in the locker room. Let's take it back to the good old Lakers days. Just name it the Western Forum, and we'll go from there. Crypto.com is on its way out. Let me share this real quick. Let's see.
I'm laughing because I'm like, man, out of the frying pan into the fire, you are hilarious. Monday through Friday is supposed to be a trigger-free show, okay? But go ahead.
Oh yeah, this is what's about to happen, people. First Celsius, then Luna, FTX, Crypto.com. Hey, they about to come. Hey, the Grim Reaper's about to come knocking, and we got the story on that as well.
Yeah, so it looks like Crypto.com addresses whereabouts of $1 billion in stable coins sent to FTX. And then also on top of that, Crypto.com accidentally sends 320,000 Ethereum to Gate.io and recovers the funds the day after. What is going on with both of these stories? A lot of craziness happening.
Oh man, well the first one, okay, people, this is what we mean by inexperience. How do you own an exchange, $1 billion exchange, and you accidentally? I saw the tweet when it happened. The guy Chris is the CEO. Accidentally sent 320,000 Ethereum to Gate.io, and then they had to send it back. That was on October 21st. You are dumb as hell if you can't send. You can't send. I got teenagers and middle schoolers who can send crypto from the right address to the right address. That is elementary school right there. So that's the first thing. You cannot make that.
Really quick, Zay. Really quick. The only thing I'll add in, unless if somebody was trying to steal, and they was like, "Oh, my fault. Did I send that? Oh, let me. I thought that was a Z. I thought that was a C. All right, my fault.
Hey,
go ahead.
That's terrible, bro. That's either you're incompetent or you're in on it. Either way, I don't want anything to do with you after that. But the fact that you also have the story about the stable coins, they're addressing the whereabouts. They don't know how 1 billion in stable coins get sent to FTX. They only had exposure under 10 million when they shut down, and FTX was a trading venue where this is one of the few trading venues with decent liquidity. Come on, man. Come on. 20% of your exchange is in Shiba Inu. 20% of their holdings are in Shiba Inu. And they tried to say that, it's because it's customers that hold it and we are one-to-one, so our customers, that's bullshit. I'm calling that out right now.
Oh, know what they're doing there. You know what they're doing. Is it Crypto.com? 20% there's a Shiba?
20% is in Shiba.
I already know what they're about to do. People, just to let you know, the exchange, they're trying to do trades like that. Oh, I already know. Listen, this was happening really quick. Not to interrupt.
Go ahead.
They're trying to do multiple trades like this, just so all they need is one or two of these to slip through, A or B. Just know. All you need is a couple of these to slip through. You see how big they are. We got that one back. We got that one back. What about the fifth one? The fifth one? No, we got the fifth one. Was the sixth one? No. Hey, start losing them in the numbers, A, and then B. They're technically trying to do swaps. All new capital will go to the Shiba Inu portfolio. I tell you about all new capital. They're going to swap it out for Ethereum, Bitcoin, or something. Go ahead and take their back end, and then they're going to figure out how to make this work when it's time to make it work. But go ahead, my fault. This is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then also too, right now it's basically a bank run on Crypto.com. Like I believe they said over 90,000 withdrawals over the weekend, which is way more than they usually get. So only thing I got to say to Crypto.com is you can't stop the rain. You can't stop the rain when it starts to pour. When it starts to pour, you're going to be next, Crypto.com. Unfortunately, we don't know who works there. Like me and King been trying to figure out I've met one person who works at Crypto.com. They've been pretty silent. And here we are. It looks like everybody was running a fractional reserve on the back end.
And again, to this 1 billion worth of stable coins. And this is crazy. Once again, people, this is not knowing crypto 101. I can't even, I don't even understand this. Crypto.com is an exchange, but they moved $1 billion over to FTX last year. For what reason? Like, there's no, they had a 20% bonus on this new coin. Like, what? If you don't park the $1 billion, what are you doing? Like, this just the way. And again, I'm not saying that like I'm some financial genius or whatever. Listen, I am one known to blow some money at a table or two. Okay, I am I'm not saying it like I'm the best person. But what I am saying is when you're at a billion, like to me, that's just a weak mental hustle. And what I mean by that is why you don't put a billion up. You okay, fine, put up 100 million if you have to, but even then, 10 million, which they said they ended up dwindling it down to, is what they kept in there, is what they had left. To me, that's what you should have had to begin with. For one, this competitor, so it's a competitor, rival company, unless they were in cahoots too and they knew something we didn't know, which they must have to put a billion toward it, or must have been guaranteed something back, like, oh, you get 1.5 back. But even then, it's a competitor. The crypto space is crazy. Things change literally, as you can say. I would say every 3 months, every quarter, but I mean, if you last a quarter in crypto, is crazy at this point. Like shit's changing every 2 to 3 weeks. So you add in all these factors. No, I'm not giving you $1 billion. I'll give you 10 to 100 million, and we'll flip that to $1 billion. And then I'm going to take out that billion, and I'm going to give you another 10 to 100 million. Like, what are you talking about? No. So just the fact that, to me, that's a newbie ass route. That's a new move right there, because being in crypto, being a Bitcoiner, what Bitcoiner out there would say, I have $1 billion in Bitcoin and I'm going to give some of my private keys just for 6 months?
Yeah, just to see what happens.
Come on. Like, come on. Would you trust it? Would you trust this person's Bitcoin advice after that, or like their knowledge? You'd be like,
yeah, give your keys to Ezel and watch him go run off with it down the street.
Man, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. All right, really quick comments. We got to keep going. Movado said work on that singing. And see, listen, Blues.
Man, my voice is beautiful. Don't worry about
it. Blues battery. So this is where, okay, and I get what you're saying. So I understand people hear things for the first time from different people and they come to space differently. But Blues battery said Kevin O'Leary did say we needed a huge crash. This is very healthy for the market, LL. Please, pretty please do not attribute anything to Kevin O'Leary. And no offense to Mr. Wonderful. I love you. You're one of my favorite smart, what's it called, Shark Tank characters, Shark Tank personalities. So I love your business acumen. That's more of the correct way of saying it. I don't know him personally. So, I love his business acumen and all that good stuff. But, like, come on, Kevin O'Leary in this market, folks. Like, say the gentleman in crypto told you that. Say Crypto Blood. Say BitBoy told you that. Say Pomp told you that. So at least somebody who's really paying attention to these markets. But not only is it healthy for the market, every market has to get it. And not only that, I think a lot of our pump came from PVP anyway. But no worries. We're going to get another huge pump for the next happening, folks. And then listen closely. In the year probably 2026, 2027, we're going to have a crazy crash. I'm talking $70,000, $80,000 crash, and that's going to be like a 60 to 70% crash right there.
Yeah.
But it'll be at that price point in fiat. So remember that being said today. In 2026, 2027, we'll have another epic crash. Of epic proportions, and people will be like, oh, we're dead this time. But no, we'll just be gearing up for when Bitcoin will be reduced to 1.25 or whatever every 10 minutes. So.
It's all good. When the aliens show up in 2029, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
It won't even matter at that point. Money won't even matter. You'll just be living.
But also, Blues, you're also right. But shout out to Kevin, because, hey, everything's a base hit to get folks to crypto, so I'm with it either way I go.
Yes.
Last year, Nappy Way said last year Chase Bank accidentally sent $50 billion mistakenly to someone's account. But again, we can all see it on chain in the crypto space. So which system is better? And see, no, once again, that's what they say. It wasn't a mistake. Chase need to pay them cocaine bills. You forget. Listen, let's not forget Chase. I was about to bring up the article, but I realized I pushed my laptop back, so I'm not gonna reach it. But regardless, the article quickly was just, of course, the Chase own ship being caught with like millions of dollars of cocaine. Was it $1 billion? It was $1 billion of cocaine.
So there's gonna be a whole lot of snippet.
Yeah, and that's
let's trade it.
that's the wholesale price. So retail, I mean, I think this is Chase saying, hey, mistakes happen. But unfortunately, our government, their own infrastructure caught them with that. So I think that's a payment, but who knows? All right, let's keep it going. Crypto exchange Kraken freezes accounts related to FTX and Alameda. What is going on with Kraken? I guess they have spoken without speaking, essentially.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jesse Powell. Kraken, they have frozen accounts with access to certain funds we suspect to be associated with fraud, negligence, or misconduct related to FTX. So I think he's taking the safe approach and saying, I don't want anything to do with you at all. I don't even want your money if other people are sending it, because we've seen them supposedly sending money to people in the Caribbean. We've seen them, some people being able to withdraw and others can't. We saw them, quote unquote, get hacked, which I think was just a kill switch for whenever things go south. And my boy Jesse Powell was like, I don't want shit to do with that. We might, our UI and UX may be shitty, but we taking the safe road. We're here for the long haul. And Kraken may be the one that survives all of this in the long term, because they're saying they've spoken with law enforcement regarding a handful of accounts owned by the bankrupt FTX Group, Alameda Research, and their executives. Those accounts have been frozen to protect their creditors. Other Kraken clients are not affected. Kraken maintains full reserves. So shout out to him. Let's get a little hand clap, because Jesse Powell
for sure.
has
I'm
been
a real one. Hold on.
The most.
Hey, you're right. He's the turtle in the race. But go ahead. Jesse Powell's been what?
I think he's been the most consistent exchange owner in the space. And oh man, Coinky Dink, he's an actual Bitcoiner. And that's the thing. These other people are not Bitcoiners. They showed up. They're charlatans. They're using banking practices in the crypto market. And just like the banks needed a bailout, now they need a bailout. The difference is you can't turn on the money machine for y'all. There is no more crypto to print for y'all. So they just got to go away. So shout out to Jesse Powell, man. He should definitely, if he survives and Kraken Exchange survives for the next, 10, 20 years, whatever, these are the type of decisions that are going to be the reason why.
They said Crypto Commandment said Kraken is 100% KYC to withdraw. They will survive because they are gang.
Well, everybody has KYC on.
Well, I will say this about him though. Remember, Jesse caught a case though.
Yeah,
caught a case, people. So
fighting back. Yeah,
you can't. They are. And again, this is coming from somebody who says he is too. And again, that's why, and it's funny too. So I found out you had just messaged me about the same time, but I was on the Go Friday and I saw your comments because someone left a message in our in the comment section basically saying, I think they were saying what were we saying because what's his name? FTX. SBF. I think they were saying because he's white, or they're like, you're alluding because he's white that he gets his treatment and stuff. And I was like, no. I was mostly, we were mostly alluding to me, he was in the United, like working with the government. He had the government on his side. He had a part of the gang on his side, especially with the whole Gary Gensler and SEC. I'm like, oh, you're part of the gang, which again, many times I keep telling people I am definitely a part of as well. So it wasn't a race thing, but then that's when the rabbit hole kept going. I started seeing, and then you text me. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. This is this is another hour or two to read right now. I'm running around, but no. But my point is, same thing here. Is just even if he is a part of it, everybody eventually is going to lay down or get down, one of the two. Yeah. He did catch a case, so you got to give him props on that. I mean, he tried to fight back, but this is crazy to see. It looks like the whole entire industry has spoke. FTX and Alameda is gone. Another one bites the dust, huh?
Hey man, yeah, FTX is out of here. Alameda is out of here. And next cycle, do not send your crypto to an exchange whose CEO has bitch tits. Maybe you should think about that before you.
Listen, we said Monday through Friday we wouldn't trigger. So listen, here's the thing, or at least during the Daily Show. No, the thing we have to do at the end of this year is time for another list, because there have been some great things that happened this year. Some great lists need to be made about events in cryptocurrency history. So we definitely have to track that. Okay. Last but certainly not least, CZ and Saylor urge for crypto self-custody amid increasing uncertainty. That is right. It looks like CZ, as well as Michael Saylor, saying, hey, get y'all crypto and hold it down. What's going on with this story?
Oh, yeah. Well, CZ and Saylor, two of the biggest names in the space, urge for crypto self-custody. And they're basically saying that self-custody is a fundamental human right. And he says it's necessary to prevent powerful actors from accumulating and abusing. And it goes on to say, basically, it's like 6 to 8 paragraphs of no keys, no cheese. That is as simple as you can put it, people. You do not own Bitcoin. You do not own any crypto unless you self-custody. I don't know how many examples people need. If you are a full-time trader, then yes, you may keep it. But even then, you may want to move it to stable coins when you're done trading. If you are one of those people that keeps it on there so that you can get on easily, remember, you always give up security for convenience. That is exactly what you're doing at that point. So it's fine if it's convenient, but if something happens, you may get caught like everybody else with nothing there. So as they put here, so because it's a fundamental human right, you're free to do it at any time. Just make sure you do it right. Was he trying to rhyme here? Recommend start with small amounts to learn the tech tools first. Mistakes here could be very costly. Stay SAFU. My man CZ got bars, but yeah, that even if an exchange owner is telling you to self custody, I mean, come on, man. We don't even trust the exchange owners, and we tell you self custody. He is one, and he's telling you self custody. I don't know how many times people got to say it, and it's almost like a parent who has to constantly spank a bad child. The people who are in the know in this industry constantly got to spank all these newbies, all these babies in the industry, and get spanked by Celsius and FTX and everybody else and Luna until they get the point, and it's fine. Sometimes you got to lose. Sometimes you got to take it on the chin before you get it. So glad they put that out.
And we all have. That's the important reminder. We all have, of course. That's why if you do want to learn all things crypto, of course, join our masterclass coaching program, 10% off right now with code TGOC10, coaching.thegentlemanofcrypto.com or on our website, thegentleman.com, thegentlemanofcrypto.com under masterclass, where we can teach and talk more about this on a daily basis. We're going to be having group calls with us and some of our other coaches. All right. With that being said, this is gearing toward the end of the show. Zay, what other comments do you have? Any last minute comments out there?
Nah, no comments for me. Shout out to everybody who was on the spaces, the support after the cancellation. I know now what it feels like to be Dave, Chappelle, Kanye, Kyrie. Yeah, I feel free as a bird. I'm a free man. I've worked 10 years to get to this point where something like this wouldn't affect me. And shout out to all the support. Me and King going strong. TGOC, F the world. We the best. We the best, baby. Forget DJ Khaled. We the best.
I don't know. We don't got bomb sounds.
We got bombs.
No, this is what we got for our sounds right here. Hold on. We got.
Fight.
Yeah, it's just problems over here. Car crashing going on, boxing bells. Yeah, ain't nothing sweet over here. All right. You want to come over here? You getting that?
Everyone, listen up. You didn't lose your money. Now, you have your... Technically, you kind of lost your money.
Smash that like and share. We will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news.